In case you don't know, the map pack is probably the most important thing for your business to serve local customers. It's this little guy. You've seen it before. The three results at the top of the search results. And so, for things like SEO near me, I want my business to show up as high as possible. Same thing for Bend, Oregon, as well as Bend Web Design, right? So we want to show up in the map pack. This is very much dependent on location. Okay, and we can't change location of our business. Well, I suppose we can, but let's just say for practical sake, we cannot change that. By having a fully optimized Google My Business profile, that's the old name, can be crucial for your local SEO success. So in this video, we are not going to do a GBP optimization. We'll be doing that shortly, but we're going to do a GBP audit, and we're going to go super deep. We're going to look at the GBP as if we have access to it, as if we don't have access to it. And that way we're going to see exactly how well we're doing right now and what we need to do when it comes time to optimize our Google business profile. All right, so here's my just quick little GBP audit form that you can follow along with. By the way, all of this is sorted by Whitespark's local ranking factors. If you haven't checked that out before, it'll blow your mind. Okay, so that's what we're basing this off of: data, research, all that good stuff. If you want to follow along, 30dayseo.com, you can get your own Google Doc just like this for free. We're on day 4 of the 30-day local SEO playbook, and so you can check out the other days there as well. Anyway, we want to start with what's most important, and that is the primary business category. When you go to the back end of your Google business profile, which you can get to by typing in My Business into Google, and then you should see it pop up. Make sure you're signed to the right Google account. This is what it's going to look like. Click on Edit Profile, and this is how you get to your primary business category. So you click right here. There's all the business categories. Click on that. It's going to say primary right there. You see that? Primary. This is the most important one. You want to make sure you're showing up where your competition is at. Now, if you've never done this before, don't worry. In the playbook, we talk about how to do this. Okay, you're going to want to use a Chrome extension called Plepper, and you're going to go to maps.google.com. Now, pro tip, if you're using your computer, you can use a Chrome extension called GS Location Changer. It's pretty good. If you're on mobile, Whitespark has a local results tool, pretty slick. You can check that out if you need to look for business in a different area. So this is more for the SEO providers out there. If you're a small business owner and you're doing it for yourself, and you're in your general area, then you're fine. It's not the best way to do it, but it's okay. Okay, we're gonna keep moving on. So how do we check the primary business category? Well, generally speaking, if you just search for your primary keyword, which you would have found out in day 3 of the local SEO playbook, so go ahead and go back and check out that video in case you don't know what your primary keyword is yet. But once you search your primary keyword, you should get, I'm going to show you in a second, you should see what the primary category is for your competitors, but not always, not always. And I'll show you an example of that. So let's go to maps.google.com. Maps.google.com, I'm using that GS location changer. So hopefully you guys can't see where my house is because I've done that before on YouTube videos. Don't dox me, please. Anyway, let's type in web designer. All right, it's given us results for web designer. If you look over here by my head, there's all this extra information. So this is Plepper right here. Okay, so Plepper has amalgamated all of the categories, and you'll see that website designer is actually the most common category, period. But that doesn't tell us anything about primary categories. And so if we click on some competitors here, like Farewell, which is a big agency over in the expensive part of town, just kidding, they're good people. When we click on them, now we can see their primary categories: website designer, Full Mooney, website designer, cool dude, Laura Bally, never met her, assume, cool gal, or whatever, also website designer, and then for Then Can Designs, the first category is website designer. Now, what if I search SEO near me, which is a pretty common search in Bend for people looking for SEO. So the first thing that pops up is Dash Content Collective. If I click on them, their only result is marketing agency. And then we get to Wholesome. Their primary category is internet marketing service. Webable is internet marketing service. Savvy Agency, stuffing in the city in their name, is marketing agency. And so I'm basing this off of the first result over here. Okay, eventually we get down to then Canada Design, so maybe they should put internet marketing service. Now, some videos will erroneously tell you that the thing down here is always the primary business category, but that's not true. They're noting that all of these businesses are internet marketing services, except for Dash, which is funny. Nice gals, I know them. But these videos will say that's the primary category for sure, but you don't know that for sure. Use a tool like Plepper, that will tell you what the primary business category is. It's the first one. So we saw a couple where it actually wasn't internet marketing service. So why did I just spend so much time talking about the primary business category? Because if you get it wrong, you'll show up lower. There's a reason why my business is showing up lower for SEO. It's because I've over-optimized for web design. Why would I do that? I don't know. That's what I did initially. I haven't changed it yet. I should probably change it to internet marketing service in my primary business category. Contemplating doing it live on the video. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so that was the most important thing. We want to make sure we show up with our competition. We don't want to be cute, just show up with our competition. That's the primary business category. The next thing is the business name. Now I'm going to spend less time talking about this, but let me show you some examples. So if we scroll down and get to number 2, you want to check the business name. Now, note, you don't need to include LLC or Inc. in your name or anything like that. Google's very clear about that. You cannot stuff in your city and you cannot stuff in your keyword, okay? When is it okay to do those things? Because it seems like people do that all the time. Well, if it's included in your legal name, you have a DBA that includes the keyword, and you used it in all of your marketing materials, but that's not enough. You need to get a DBA. By the way, if you're not sure how to do that or what that even means, I'll have a link below in the description for a video that's coming out soon. It might not be out right away, where I show you how I got a DBA for my business. So anyway, here are 2 examples of businesses that are keyword stuffing. The first one here is Oregon Web Solutions Bend SEO. Okay, all they're doing is throwing Bend SEO on the back of the business. If you look at their legal name and their logos, nothing about Bend SEO. They're just simply stuffing keywords. Now, I know I just talked a bunch of trash about these guys, but I have to issue a public apology here. I said that these guys were doing it wrong, but it turns out they have a DBA for their business, so they're totally in the right doing this, just like another company I know. So just make sure that you're getting a DBA or doing business as, and we actually have a video that covers this topic, a new video on the channel, so check it out right up there. We'll have a little card so that way you can do that for your business if that's also what you want to do. But just make sure you're being careful, okay? Because Google and the state want you to make sure that when you're answering the phone, that's what you're saying, which is how I answer the phone. Is that how they answer the phone in all their locations? Maybe. I don't know who they are, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Congratulations. We no longer have a beef. Beef ended. Then Can Designs, Ben Website SEO. If you look at our classic logo right here, you can see there it is, Ben Website SEO. And that's actually how I introduce my business. Every time I talk about it, I say Then Can Design, Ben Website SEO, helping your small business get more TLC, traffic, leads, and clients. See, I have that memorized because I say that every time I introduce my business, IRL. That's, the kids call it Earl. That means in real life. Just kidding. I don't think the kids call it that. I call it that. Anyway, the name and the brand name are the same with the stuff keyword, so that's good. However, if I didn't have legal documentation and a re-verification was triggered, then I could have issues because you need to have legal documentation to back it up. My profile could get suspended. So that's why I filed the DBA. Again, watch that video. It should be in the description. Might not be out when this video comes out, but it'll be out eventually. So you can circle back, subscribe to the channel because we're always posting videos about local SEO. Now, as you can already see, the next one that we're going to look at is the secondary category. So this is super important. Again, this is where you really want to use Plepper's tool here. So when you search for SEO near me, it's going to give you that aggregation of all of the businesses over here. So these are all the services that people have. So should you put internet marketing service? Yes, because that's what SEO is. Should you put website designer? Well, I mean, if you don't do websites, then you shouldn't put that. But if you're a marketing agency, yes, put that. Same thing with marketing consultant. You don't want to get too loose, and I usually recommend limiting yourself to about 4 or 5 business categories. But, you know, like, don't go crazy, but like, you know, go crazy. And so, you know, am I a design agency? I mean, I do sell designs, and we are a lean and mean agency. Are we a marketing agency? Technically. Web hosting company? Technically, we do host websites. Marketing consultant? I would like to think of myself as one. And an internet marketing service. Maybe that shouldn't be last. Maybe that should be first. I don't know. I'm going to keep pondering it tonight, and maybe I'll do it later. So the secondary categories are important. Now, pause for a second here. I should say something that's really important. All the stuff we just talked about, if you change it, it can trigger a re-verification. And so if you've never had to verify your Google Business Profile before, because maybe you've had it around for a while, the most common way to have to verify your GBP nowadays is with a video verification. Check the description. I got a video where I totally walk through it. I've helped dozens of people get their GBPs verified through this annoying video verification process. You just got to follow the steps. That's all you got to do, people. But check this out. More recently, if you change any of the things we just talked about, you could trigger re-verification. I'm not saying it's the end of the world, especially if you watch the video I've already made. But here's the thing. It's annoying, it's tedious, and it doesn't help you get more leads for your business. And so why would we be doing it? So be careful. If you're going to change your primary business category, if you're going to change your business name, if you're going to change your secondary business categories, be careful, okay? Be careful. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Leave a comment below. Be like, hey, this is my business. Or if you don't feel cool about that, you could find my email. Just go to my website. It's on there somewhere. So anyway, just reach out. All right, and be like, is this cool? Am I about to get in trouble? Like, yeah, don't get in trouble with Google. All right. The less time we all spend in Google jail, the better. Okay, so now the next thing I like to do when I'm auditing a GBP, and I should mention that a lot of these tasks, you actually don't even need to log into the backend to see this. So far, because of Plepper, we haven't actually had to look on the backend. But if you have backend access because you're the small business owner, then there's easier ways to do this. But check the review amount compared to the competition. So there's a couple things I want to know. I want to know the amount, the sheer number of reviews. I want to know the amount of 5-star reviews or 4 or 5-star reviews. I want to know the quality. What's the length of the reviews? Also, what are they saying? Are they saying the service? Because that's helpful. Are there any pics? Depends on the industry, but it'd be nice, right? Even if it's like a custom cabinet maker, having the cabinets, that's great, right? Frequency. This could be hard to tell, but if you look, it'll tell you, how long ago the reviews were. It'll be like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 months, 8 months, 2 years, 5 years. And you're like, okay, well, what's going on here? Right? And so, especially if there's a bursts don't look good to Google. And then also recently, like, are all the reviews from a year ago? If that's the case, then we're saying, hold on, friend, we need to work on this. So later on in the 30-day local SEO playbook, we're going to talk about review coaching. And so definitely want to be subscribed to the channel and get your own, because it updates like right now, live as I'm recording this. I think I have like a week in here right now, but eventually all 30 days will be in here. You'll be able to refer back to this anytime, 30dayseo.com. You've already got your free copyright. It's freaking free. Like, what are you doing? Come on, let's go. All right. So I always like to know how many reviews do the top 3 have, what's kind of the average, especially above me. And so, like, let's say that the average is like 60, right? It's like 80, 60, and 40. Those are the top 3. We'll just use rough numbers to make it easier. And let's say we have 5 reviews. That seems impossible to get to. But if we get 1 review a week for a year, how many reviews are we going to have? 60. Now, we might get to the end of that year and realize that now the new average is 150 and be like, oh, we need to get way more reviews than this. So pay attention in that sense. But if you're just getting consistent, steady reviews, they're so important. So yeah, remember that reviews are the factor you control the most as a small business owner, but proximity is super important. So that's hard to overcome. However, there are some people that think that getting reviews from people in other parts of your town can help you rank higher. So that's something to consider. We also want to check, so some of these are going to be easy hits. Now, we want to check our review responses. If people are not responding to your Google Business Profile reviews, then you want to start doing that. I would, if you're the small business owner, you realize like, oh shoot, I've never done this. I didn't even know this was a thing. By the way, if you want to know how to do that, you got a little thing right here. Read reviews. Click on that, and then here's your reviews. Let's see what Seth had to say. Sam's the real deal. He has the knowledge and hustle to take you and your business to the next level. He's personable and transparent. I could appreciate the willingness to help out with basic advice. Check that out. Even if you have basic advice, sometimes we help out. Thank you, Seth. We appreciate that. Check it out. Wrote back. That ain't Chat GPT. That's human GPT, okay? Which I think is just human. Anyway, make sure you're responding to those reviews. So you get on there. I don't have one that's not responded to, but you just click and there's a button to reply to it. It's how to reply to comments. It's 2024. If you don't know how to do that, you probably don't have a business. Okay, moving on. Check for photos. Okay, we want to make sure that we're posting photos regularly. In the GBP optimization video, I'm going to talk about specific images that we want to have, and that's coming up in a couple days in our series. But For now, we're just checking to see, are we posting regularly? How many pictures do we have? So if we go back to the GBP, we click on photos right here. We'll see that we're not regularly posting photos of then Can designs. Yeah, anyway, so we could definitely be doing better on that. And then also check for general ranking. Okay, later on when we set up tracking, which I think is the next day, which is really exciting, we're gonna check how our GBP ranks in our area. That's gonna be really cool when I show you guys that. But right now, just kind of do a ballpark, right? You know, when we looked up, you know, like some of these, we were in the map pack. When we looked up SEO Bend, Oregon, from the middle of Bend, we were like 7th. So that means we got some room to grow. Okay, so that's good. That gives us something to do. You know, a good ranking. Really depends on your competition, but we always want to shoot for the map pack, right? That is always our goal. And honestly, there's a huge variance between results 1, 2, and 3 in the map pack. And so even just showing up, like going from 3rd to 2nd and from 2nd to 1st can have massive results. So we want to keep pushing until we see that, okay? Like seriously, like we do not stop until we see that. Again, there will be parts of town where we don't rank that high. That's just the way it is. That's the way the algorithm is set up, whatever. Check the Q&As. The Q&As are down here, right there, Q&A, this button right there. Click on that. Later on, we're going to find out that we can actually ask and answer our own questions. So that's good to know, but also clients can do that. So if they've asked any questions, we want to make sure we go through and answer them. Check for GBP updates. This is important when you're doing an audit. You just want to know, like, are we doing this? And so I'll get out of the way here. The only way to do it is, you know, if you have your Google Business Profile pulled up, you can actually see the panel over here. If you scroll down, you actually be able to see the updates down here. That's what they look like, okay? And so we'll talk about a GBP post strategy because everybody calls these GBP posts. They don't call them updates, but that's their new name. See, look, it says update right there. That's why I call it that. But anyway, everybody calls them GBP posts, so we'll talk about the GBP post strategy later on in the series. Don't fret. I promise you we'll talk about that. And then check the business description. This does not influence ranking, okay? But even though it doesn't influence your ranking, it does influence your human interaction with your Google Business Profile, people stopping, reading, interacting, and that does, we believe that does impact your ranking. So that's why it is important to do this, but we don't have to stuff keywords in it. Don't do that, okay? We don't do that, okay? So what we're gonna find out, really quickly, before we get to that, if you do have access to the back end, which you would as a small business owner, you wanna check your services, your products, your booking page, and your profile details, okay? We'll talk about all of these things in the GBP optimization video, which will come out in a few days, or a few weeks in real life. But just real quickly, the services section is here. So you just kind of want to make sure that services are in here. If your website's been around for any amount of time, it should already have pulled stuff from here. Eventually, when we optimize, we want to go through and prune the things that aren't real, but that's okay. Bookings page, love to have that pointing to at least the contact page. If your niche, your industry has a specific booking program that it uses, then go to that. And then products, for now, Google said they were going to get rid of this, but they still haven't. You can put your services as products. Obviously, if you have products, put products here, but you can put your services as products, put some details in here. That's just something you can do. And so right now, we're just doing an audit, okay? We're just checking to see if we have these things, okay? And then the last thing is you want to actually click on Edit Profile and work your way down and make sure you filled out all of these things, okay? Because having a completely filled out GBP is so helpful. So just go through here and make sure that you have every option filled out, preferably filled out right. Again, we're going to talk about this stuff during the GBP optimization lesson here in, I think it's in a couple days, so don't worry about that. And then the real takeaway of this video, like what did we learn from this audit? Well, we found out how far we are behind on reviews, which again is a really strong ranking factor. It's the 6th, 8th, 13th, and 20th most important ranking factors according to Whitespark's local search ranking factors list. Does it look like things are in need of change? Like the business categories, the name of the description. Again, we're just doing audit right now, so we're probably not making any changes, but we want to note these things because if we're going to do it, we need to be ready in case we have to re-verify. Are we already doing the SEO-y things like GBP updates and Q&As? How many photos are there compared to the competition, right? These are SEO-y things. Are we already doing these things? You know, did that agency that you hired for a little bit, were they already doing these things? Maybe you're already in a decent spot. and or maybe they were doing really spammy stuff. That's a totally also viable option. And most importantly, where are you ranking for your primary keyword? Remember, primary keyword is what you figured out in day 3 of the 30-day local SEO playbook, and this is day 4. So we've audited our Google business profile. We know how we're doing it. Don't worry, in just a couple days, we're going to start working on that GBP. So we now know how our GBP is doing. And remember, that's important because the map pack is typically the first thing that shows up when people search for your business. Now, let's take a little sneak peek. What are we going to be talking about in day 5 of the 30-day local SEO playbook? Ooh, we're going to be setting up tracking. Let me just go a little bit farther down, because in day 3 we got our primary keywords, and so now we're going to start tracking where our keywords are ranking. And then another thing we're going to do is we're actually going to be, I'm not showing it here, but further down we're going to talk about where our GBP is ranking throughout the city. And I think after this video you're really going to want to see that. So be sure to check out day 5, which is right there. But again, a prereq for day 5 is knowing what your primary keyword is. So you already know that, right? Because if you don't, we'll link to day 3 right here, no matter what. And if you're watching this video live right now, A, make sure you like it because you made it this far in the video, and B, subscribe so you don't miss out on the rest of the series. Go to 30dayseo.com, get your Google Doc too, it's completely free, and then check out the next lesson right here. Can't wait to see you in the next one.